All right. Oh, right when I did that, I lost Trey. Well, we are back for another night Transworld Motocross recap show from Houston. And with me is Trey, except the moment I went live, we lost him. So give that a second, and then we'll get Trey back in here. But yes, we just got back from Houston. Another exciting night of racing. First Triple Crown of the season. And once again, tonight's show is brought to you by Partzilla, the best for parts. Great partners of ours. They have came in this year and really given us the support we needed to get ourselves to the races and keep doing what we're doing for you guys. So the best thing you guys can do is support them, give them a follow, check them out, buy some parts. Partzilla, best for parts. Let me get Trey back on here. I'm not sure what happened there. There he is. I'm gonna bring him back in. There he is. Trey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I see everything now. Just for whatever reason, like as soon as you unmuted your microphone and went to say something, your screen just froze for me.
Yeah, I transitioned the scene from the starting soon to the live show and little hiccups. Like I said, last week we kind of had a few hiccups with this thing. We're using Streamlabs, so it's like
Several.
yeah, we had some issues. In fact, we might be changing the format of this show maybe next week. We were maybe doing it this week, but it's just been a long week. I'm actually pretty sick right now. I don't know if you can tell my voice or not. I'm sure my energy levels aren't the best right now throughout the show, but we even got a nice little tea. Thank you, Crystal. Babe says you got this.
We might need it with all the stream issues we had last week. We might
Yeah,
need a little bit of motivation there.
we definitely had some issues last week. I think Trey, I see your audio levels, so I think we're good. I think everyone can hear you, so that's good. You guys can leave
I
comments in
sure
the
hope
chat.
so.
Yeah, last time we were talking and Trey, you guys couldn't even hear him. So again, we had some issues with the live stream before with the program. We might switch it to like a pre-recorded show. I think it's still the same format where we use like the backgrounds and we try to look at the website motocross.com, our website. The only thing that might be different is maybe no live chat interactive in it. But I think overall, if we upload the videos later and just like pre-record them, it might be better. It'll probably do better views and everything else. The live shows tough. We need to build this audience and keep building, the informational side of TWMX that we're trying to do. And I think the uploads might be the move, and especially for getting guests, because another thing we have problems with is just the crashing of the system. Like every time we try to have a guest, and it sometimes crashes, and it's pretty frustrating. So I'd rather just give you guys, the viewers, a really consistent show, and I can just edit it together and make it, smooth, and then everything works. So because when we restart 2 or 3 times like we did last weekend, we just lose everyone and all the engagement, everything we're working on. And then there's like 3 random uploads. It's just a pain in the butt. But anyway, we're here. We made it. Trey is in here. Didn't have to restart, so we're good to go. And we're going to talk about Houston. I was there this weekend. Again, a little bit sick, so I was running around doing the best I could. I was freezing. I did not have enough layers, and that's probably why I also still don't feel the greatest today. Trey was nice and cozy at home watching it, so I'm sure that was nice. But yeah, Houston. Let's get into it. I believe this is our first football stadium of the year, right? Because we've been doing baseball
First NFL
stadiums.
stadium.
Yeah, NFL stadiums. We've been
I
doing
mean, San Diego is a football stadium, but it's a college
college. Yeah,
stadium.
yeah.
It's a little bit smaller scale.
So this stadium, NRG Stadium, yeah,
NRG.
Energy.
Yeah.
That one in Texas, Houston. It's huge. I mean, I don't even think they sell tickets for the upper levels. So I'm pretty sure I couldn't remember if they still considered it a sellout or not. It's like they sold out of the tickets they had available, but the upper levels weren't even used. But it was still like packed. It was still packed, and it's just massive. That stadium is really big, but fully enclosed indoors, which thank God because it was freezing and the wind out there was rough. I hate the cold. That's Derek, Josh, the photographers I'm always hanging out with. They know I'm always complaining the whole time. They even text me ahead of time on the weekend. Hey, it's gonna be cold, but I didn't listen. So you might be seeing me walking around in a snowboard jacket at some of these other ones. I just dug that out because we got dumped on. We're in Charlotte and we got like a foot of snow, which apparently is like the most they've ever gotten in like 30 something years. Like crazy. So, I mean, to me, it's no big deal, but man, this whole town is like shut down because of it. Like nothing's happening. It's like 4 days past the snow, everything's melted and they're still shut down. Everything's short staffed. It's ridiculous. Like honestly, like I was trying to do something today and like we couldn't even do it. It's kind of funny. But yeah, It was a good weekend. The stadium was huge. The track was interesting. I think the biggest takeaway I got from it was the riders liked it. They thought it was fun, but there was still like some complaints. I know for me, for the photographers and the videographers, we all kind of struggled with it because everything looked the same from our perspective. Most tracks we can actually walk all the way around the track in a full circle. For this one, it's like a U. We can't. The part where the whoops go, the whoops, and it does that turn, kind of goes like into the stadium a little bit right there. That's so tight that we're just not allowed to go back there at all. So we have to like work in this U, and a lot of it is just kind of repetitive, and or you can go in the middle, but you're kind of stuck there. So yeah, it was kind of tough to shoot. I think that's the one of the complaints that I heard a lot. But it when it came down to it, it seemed like the racing was pretty good, and it actually worked out pretty well for the Triple Crown format because, yeah, I mean, obviously Hayden dominated, so that was great, and he earned it. He didn't even have any good starts really; he had to kind of work his way through it. Um, Cooper Webb taking the number one in the 450s without even getting a win, so that's how the triple crowns work. They just kind of end up in that format. And then on top of that, we also had Partzilla over the weekend, finished up the Partzilla Arena Cross Series with Gage Linville taking both titles, which is awesome to see because it's doing exactly what the purpose of the series was, which in my opinion was get these kids in there, get them ready, get their feet wet. On top of the exposure with the TV program and the Fox Sports and everything else, and just the great tracks by Sonny and everyone doing it, this is a chance for them to get on their bikes and get ready for Supercross. So Gage, we're going to see him soon in a couple weeks at Arlington for the first round of the East Coast. So I'm excited to see that. And I've already seen some of the other guys running around on the West Coast series, like Aiden Shaw. I've seen him. I think Landon Gibson was here, but I think something happened. I think he crashed or landed on a hay bale or
Yeah,
something, right?
practice crash. Foot peg, I think, got caught in one of the tough blocks or something, I've heard. But yeah, unfortunately, there was a lot of the top SMX next guys ended up going down in that last practice, which recording my podcast today, my co-host that was his like complaint of the week was why do you have like after last week and the big crashes at Anaheim too, why do you have the kids going because they had their first qualifying, then they had everybody else's qualifying, and then they even had the LCQs before the second session. So the track was completely beat up, and then you had guys going out there. Caden Manier didn't race, Cade Johnson didn't race. There were a lot of guys that ended up not participating. Some of the top guys too that were left on the sidelines instead of competing out there, which thinned it out a little bit and made it a little bit less entertaining, at least in my point of view.
So Trey, I mean, to be honest with you guys, I didn't really pay a ton of attention to the SMX Next this time. I was planning on it and doing everything, but again, I was pretty sick. I was having a pretty rough time out there. I'm not gonna lie. I was taking a bunch of medicine. I was like just trying to lay kind of low, but also get my stuff done. So it was a rough weekend for me. Maybe Trey, you can kind of give us a recap on how the SMX Next went in general. Did they actually play that on Peacock?
Yeah, the racing was on. The second practice session was not because it was after the LCQs, like I mentioned,
Oh,
but
okay.
the first qualifying session and, of course, the race was on the broadcast. But it was the Caden Dudney show this weekend, of course. He was second in Anaheim and really rode through the pack. I think he was the most impressive rider at Anaheim. Didn't have the first place trophy to show for it, but fastest in qualifying again, got out front early, and there was a point during the race, kind of halfway through, where guys started to reel him in, and you're like, well, maybe he's faded a little bit, maybe he's a little bit tight, but he ended up getting back control of the lead. He stayed poised, got back a gap a little bit, and took the win. I mean, Star Yamaha, their pedigree is raising all these guys up, and they just keep turning out these amateur stars after amateur stars, and they just keep going big. The pipeline, I mean, it's just a chain nowadays. You look back from when they started their domination, Jeremy Martin to Cooper Webb to AP, and then just continues to go. Of course, Aiden Deegan, the current guy in charge. Now Manier wins Anaheim, Dudney wins at Houston. Landon Gordon, their other rider, he was 3-3 in the first two rounds, so he's been solid. He's not usually a jump off the page fast kind of guy, but he's always pretty smooth and consistent. And he was on the box again. I think Deacon Dino was very impressive. Triumph's amateur guy, their first ever amateur signing. He was P2 overall. And for Dudney and Dino, they're both Texas boys. So Texans going 1-2 in the Lone Star State was pretty cool to see. Vincent Way was up front again, looking good for a little bit, but he had a weird spill at the end of the whoops. kind of a nasty crash, but for the most part, like I mentioned, it was Caden Dudney's show pretty much. From
I did see
qualifying on
that.
top to winning the race, I mean, it was his day in that class, and
Yeah.
he performed very well. He's been impressive. He was impressive in his outdoor starts last year, not only in the combine, but his couple pro starts at Unadilla and Budds Creek. And I think he's got a bright future if he's able to continue to keep growing and keep building.
I did see that crash from Way. That was actually a pretty good one. He got ejected out of the whoops pretty much, right? You
Oh
kind of
yeah,
lost it at the
yeah,
end, and
at
then
the end of it, and he just
yeah,
kind of lost the
yeah,
machine.
he had a good little slam. I'm glad. I think he's okay. So I'm glad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
glad we're
got
good
back up
there.
and finished the race,
Okay.
thankfully.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
But yeah, it went from contending for a podium to 12th, so I'm sure he's not stoked about that.
No. It's tough out there, man, and I kind of that was kind of the night for a few of our main stars out there. You know, I mean, even Tomac had a pretty big one
Hmm.
at 1.2, and it's just, I mean, these triple crowns, they always play out so interesting. You just never know what's going to happen. But maybe we'll just jump right into it. We can get into 250 class. Let's pull up our article here. Motocross.com. You guys check it out. Trey's a big part of that on our site. We're bringing on more people. Obviously, I don't know if you guys saw or not, but I did do a story, and I've been telling people we're looking for contributors. Actually, I've been blown up. I really have a lot of people I need to respond to. I just been like sick. Like I just don't want to do anything right now. It's pretty rough. I hate being sick, man. I really do. But yeah. So we'll be doing more eventually. But Trey does a great job on holding it down on the website motocross.com. Trans Road Motocross. That's where we do all of our stories and recaps, and Trey's always posting the recaps right after the races, and you guys qualifying reports during the day. So we're gonna keep working on what else we're gonna bring there, but you guys can drop comments and other things you might want to see. But yeah, led into it. Triple Crown format, so you got to qualify right in. You do your qualifiers if you don't know, and then there's a LCQ as well. Which, man, if you're in that LCQ, that is a lot of racing. That is a lot of times on the bike. You're on the bike 1, 2, 3, 6 times on that gate.
Putting the laps in, man.
You're putting them in. I mean, luckily
Probably bored of that track at the end of the night. It's just like, oh, I gotta go through this corner. I gotta hit this.
yeah. Well, it seemed like people had fun with it. It did seem like a fun
Yeah,
track, but I didn't hear too many complaints really. I know they were working on that rhythm after you pass the starting gate before the finish. That long rhythm lane before that, you jump over that table where you can on off it. I know they made some small changes, like there was these little ads. There was that you do the on off. There was like a little triple right there. They kind of flattened out one of those or something to make it a little safer. But I was watching people all night jump that thing, and it just looked like they were trying to drop right over that table. And some of the times it's so sharp and small. Like I don't know. It was like interesting watching these guys trying to like time that one because there was a lot of mistakes. They definitely it was a difficult section, but it was still made some good race. But yeah, led into it. First race, Hayden had a great hole shot. Or did he get the whole shot in the first one? Right?
he was right up there. Him
Right
and
up there.
Maximus Volan 1-2 off
Yeah,
the start, and then he gets the lead immediately.
that's
And
right.
I
Maximus.
mean, all night realistically was the Hayden Deegan show, but
Right, yeah.
especially race one, he got up front almost
Yeah,
immediately
he
and
got out
just
quick.
cruised.
But it's still cool to see Max. I love when I see him doing good because I think
Yeah,
his story is so cool. Having the hand.
laps led in the third moto as well. Great to
Yep.
see.
Yep. And he, yeah, he's just, it's incredible to see him with that handbrake and everything. I think it's a pretty cool, inspiring story to do something like
Yeah.
that because this sport's already hard enough to do that, like just the next level. But yeah, Hayden really dominating out here. And I don't know how many bolts he's got in that thing, but he had the finger guns were going this weekend. He had a couple in the chamber, that's for sure.
Bang bang, Danger Boy gang.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. But I mean, he's got it. I mean, when they interview other riders and stuff, that they just say it. You know, like, well, you know, he's good. There's no one can say anything because it's just that's what it is. He is that good. And I just saw his post right before I actually went live. If you go on his Instagram, he just posted his backflip it's 10 years ago, 2016. We did that. That's all my footage. That was from when I was doing their YouTube back in the day. I was there for that. So like, yeah, I mean, those are all my clips back in the day. So that was cool being there with him during that time. That kid's pretty funny. We go back a long ways. Obviously, that plaque right there is it says the Deegans on it because that's from the channel that I worked with, and I grew it up to over 1 million. for about 10 years, and I've known Hayden since he was 8. So it's always cool to see him. I talked to him a little bit this weekend, and we actually talked about Houston because I was like, hey, this is where we first did our first Supercross. I remember coming here with him for his first Supercross was at Houston, I believe, right? Yeah, it was Houston. Then he was
Yeah,
railing.
it was Houston.
He was railing the berms. Yeah, he was.
Oh yeah.
And then after that, it was I remember at Daytona was his first podium, and we got the third place. And I remember how excited. I mean, we were stoked, and that was the first time I met like Sean. That's the guy at Feld. So like the media guy, he like gave me a hug at Daytona. He's like, oh, he was stoked. Like everyone was just so excited, and that was kind of my start into jumping into the pro ranks as well because I was obviously shooting amateur for so long, and then going to the pro side of the sport. And then so yeah, a lot of memories at Houston actually, and we haven't been back since that time
Yeah.
as far as the series goes, which was 2024
Three.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
know they all run together.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, what?
It was
What
like,
year
which
are we
year of
in?
college was that for me?
Yeah. So it's been a minute. Yeah, it's crazy. Time flies, but stoked to see him. Obviously, I'm always rooting for Hayden, and I just want to see him do well and not get hurt and just dominate. And that's what he does. And he is a good kid, and he puts on a show, and that's just the personality I have always viewed kind of as a show. Even when it came to like haters, I've always been like, at least at the beginning when I told him, like when he first started getting haters, I was like, they're not even real. You acknowledging them is what makes them real. And then they get fueled up, and then more of them start coming. But they weren't even real at first. They were just people jealous or whatever else. Like he was a good kid. But now he's got a show. He does his thing. He has fun with it. Like on the podium. Who? He's a character, and it's good. It's really good for the sport, and it's obvious. I mean, we've been having record. I mean, we've been selling out stadiums. We've been record streaming on Peacock. The sport's in a really good place right now. And, obviously the big part of that is from them and everyone else. I mean, everyone's doing really good and just everything in the sport. Obviously we always want things to keep getting better. But anyway, I'm just rambling on. Let's get back into the racing. Dominating performance. Hayden was really excited to see Levi up there and Cameron McAdoo. Team Cowie.
He survived the first corner.
We made it. We made it past the first corner. Team Cowie, multiple races battling up front, having the lead, running the lead. I think McAdoo was up in the lead for a little bit at one point.
Kitchen was in the second moto. Kitchen led most of the race. I mean, McAdoo was up there in podium
second or
contention all
something.
night. Of course, they went 2-3 in the overall results.
Okay.
But yeah, Kitchen, second race was mostly his. And of course, Deegan gets around him and then, puts another in the chamber and fires it off at him.
Yeah.
A lot better night for Kawasaki. McAdoo, I think, has been sneaky, and I looked at the results today. He's went 2-4-3 the last 3 rounds. So I'm pretty impressed with that. He's been just kind of quietly there. And, of course, Levi, he's had this speed all year. He just, from going down the first corner or the first lap, it's been a terrible start for him, and he just needed something to go right. And I'm sure he would have loved to have won at least one of those races and shown a little bit more fight. But for him to just be second on the podium at this point is a win after all he went through in the first couple races.
Yeah, definitely. And then, we kind of worked down the list a little bit. We saw Max Anstey. I think everyone has been expecting a lot from him after the performance earlier in the year, but we've kind of not where he wants to be. I did see he went down and got almost in a scary accident. I saw his jersey got like sucked into a sprocket and like ripped him. Dude, again, the Houston for us on the floor, like for me, we missed so much. Like especially this track, it was like really hard to shoot because you really can't see past the lane we were standing next to. Everything was so tall that it was just really hard to like see. So I missed a lot of things. I didn't see Eli's crash. I didn't see Max's crash. I didn't see a lot of those crashes, honestly. Like just in the wrong place, they always happen in random places, which we don't want to see in the first place. And whenever something bad happens, we try to avoid really showing it. Like, for instance, on press day, Faulkner went down.
Ooh, yeah.
And I did get that. And when I walk up, I don't actually film at first. I want to make sure he's okay. And then we see him get up. I mean, he got up and he had a bloody face, a bloody mouth. And I didn't want to show that. So I waited till he kind of passed and I filmed him where you can kind of see him walking from behind and then pushing the bike to show he's okay. Really unfortunate for him. Man, there's been a lot of opinions and things going around for him right now. I think I wouldn't say all of them are ill-hearted. I think you got to let the guy make his own choices in life, but and I agree with that too. And I think if I was in his shoes or anyone else, I was like, how do you? It's hard to not want to be there and do those things. And I think there is a lot of opinions out there, and yeah, I think people should just let the guy do whatever he wants. But I get it. People just want him to be safe. We all want these guys to be safe. So again, that was a scary crash from him on press day. Hopefully he gets better soon. And but yeah, we'll that was unfortunate. But again, I don't think we had any too. Do we have any other scary ones this weekend? Really, anything?
I mean, 250 class, there was a couple bigger ones in qualifying. I'm not sure Dylan Schwartz's status for this weekend. He had a
Oh
pretty big
yeah,
get off
he
that they
did.
threw a red flag for.
Mm-hmm.
Wageman had a crash that they threw a red for, but he
Yeah,
seems to be okay other than just shaking up a little bit. And I know on
that's
Instagram
right.
he's like, I'm going to give it a go at Glendale this weekend. So it looks like he's all right. But TWMX was a very interesting crash, not expected because there was so much going on at that time. You had Jason and Kenny fighting for position, and then all of a sudden you just see the camera cut, and it's just Eli flying, and
And
he
that was
goes
during a
down. It's
race,
like,
right? That wasn't
holy crap!
qualifying.
Oh
That's
yeah,
first moto.
yeah. Second moto for
Second?
Eli.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was the
Man,
second race.
I didn't miss everything on the floor, did it? I swear. I'm like, dang.
Everything runs together, but yeah, I mean, it was just kind of all of a sudden you just see him start looking like he's going to go over the bars, and you're like, oh no. I mean, everybody, you don't want to see them crash, but then some of the like older racers, it's seeing how Eli's performed and how many people love Eli, and just when he started nosing over, I'm like, oh no, and I could tell my dad's reaction too because I always watch the races with my dad when I'm at home, and he's like, oh, he like as Eli's starting to go down, and we figured it was going to be big, and I mean it was, but for him to pop right back up and get aboard the bike, I mean that was the clear sign to me. I was like, all right, thank goodness he's all right, he's ready to roll. He gets back on the bike, salvages 13th out of it. I mean, for him to get fourth overall after that was pretty impressive. I know he went out there and pretty much dominated the final moto, kept Hunter Lawrence in check, and won the deal. And like I was talking with Jack earlier, recording my podcast, he's like, if you're going to crash, you might as well do it at the Triple Crown. At least you have a better chance to recover. If it was a 20-minute main event and Eli would have finished 13th, he would have lost so many points, looking at because Hunter Lawrence won that race. If that was a standard 20-minute main event per se, and Eli gets 13th, Hunter gets first, he loses 14 points, I think, in one race. But because it was a Triple Crown, he had time to be able to work and recover in that moto, plus another moto to just go out, start fresh. He ends up winning it. He still loses some points to Hunter, but it's nowhere near as bad. Still, his lead is cut in half with 4 to 4. It was 8 before the round, but I think for Eli, he was clearly one of the best riders all night, even though he made that mistake, hit a kicker, whatever happened there. I feel like Hunter and Eli, in terms of speed, were just the two best guys all night. They were performing incredibly well. Of course, Cooper Webb gets the win without winning a race. Very Cooper Webb ride from Cooper Webb. But for those two, I think seeing Eli and Hunter, and of course this championship battle is heating up, but it seems like the further we go on, it just seems to be leading toward Eli versus Hunter. Although Coop's still in it, Chase is still in it, but they're going to have to do some work. Chase was a little bit disappointing in my opinion this weekend, but I think Hunter Lawrence has been very impressive. He's been, in my opinion, the most impressive rider of the year so far. I don't know about you, but like I said, I was hesitant to put him in that championship contender tier because he had a full season his rookie year, but only a few races last year. I'm like, I don't know. If it was outdoors, I would put him there. But indoors, I just wasn't convinced. But what he's shown me in these first few races, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if he won this weekend or Seattle sometime in the near future. I feel like he's due for a win at this rate.
I think Hunter is definitely due for a win. And again, I feel like pretty sure in our preseason show before A1, I think that's what we talked about too. Like I said, I think Hunter was one of my picks because he's just been the silent killer, or I guess the silent killer, right? But he's always right there. And
Yeah.
once again, there he is, right there. And I think that it's definitely coming very soon. You can see he wants it. You can see it in his eyes. You can
His
see.
Instagram post was funny as well, where he had like the second place for Hunter Lawrence, and you had the like noise in the background where it's like, oh, second place for Hunter Lawrence again. So three in a row, and I'm like, man, it's starting to feel like outdoors. Hunter Lawrence, second, second, second. Like, well, here we go again. But he's definitely knocking on the door of it. And for him to be in this championship fight, I know we're only 4 rounds in still, but I mean, he's up there with Eli Tomac, Chase Sexton, Cooper Webb, the baddest of the bad, and he's holding his own right there with those guys. That's a huge step forward for him.
Yeah, these guys were looking solid tonight. Before we jump too much ahead on the 450s, let's go back to 250s. I'm going to scroll up to the
Okay.
overall results and just kind of go maybe through the list a little bit more. There's a lot I want to say there on the 450s as well. Still, again, I kind of think the theme of the night or of the series so far is to me has just been these like silent like second to fourth place people that are just kind of staying consistent, and if they can keep doing that but also bettering themselves, then we're gonna start seeing some changes in the points. Like unless we're just getting domination. If Hayden's just literally gonna dominate the season, which I think is very possible, then
Looks like it's already happening.
yeah, then it's gonna be. I mean, he was checking up on the finish line, waiting for a second. I don't know if you saw that or not, but it's a character. But yeah, it might be what we just see this season. We're just looking at the second, the storyline might be second and third, but you never know. Things can happen. That's the thing about this sport. So once again, the theme, though, like I said, there is a lot of these guys that are just kind of there, and maybe not in the spotlight, but we're recognizing it. We see them. We know they're there. I mean, Ryder DeFrancisco, he's there. Even someone like Hunter Yoder, he's doing very impressive right now. Club MX, not a full factory ride, but a really big team. They have support Chad Reed now, like a full time deal there. So a lot of really good things there. And I've known Hunter for a long time as well, and I've been watching him, and I've been really excited for him. So to see him up there battling and getting up in the front pack like that, I feel like it's where he belongs. So I want to see him keep doing that. Michael Mosman, I don't know what happened to him in the second moto. Do you know what happened to him in the second moto?
Went down that corner right before the finish line. I don't remember for sure if he just stalled it or tipped it over, but he lost a ton of spots. It was the opening lap, I think, so he immediately dropped to the rear of the field and just
Mm.
couldn't really work his way through the pack. He was a good bit behind everybody once it got going. So really tough way for him to go because he entered the race second in points and he was having two straight podium weekends. He was getting a little bit of momentum, led a lot of laps at Anaheim too, and then for everything to kind of go away and he's eighth. And I mean, like you mentioned with Yoder, though, he's been solid all year long, and I thought that was one of the best signings of the offseason, and I said it at the time with Yoder going to Club MX. He's been a solid top 10 guy or knocking on the door top 10 the last couple years, of course, with the PRMX Kawasaki team, and you spent a lot of time over there with him. But now with the Club MX team, they are, in my opinion, in my eyes, the premier non-factory organization. You have like Club MX number one, and then I'd say like Quad Lock Honda behind them in terms of, hey, this is where you want to go if you're not factory. And Hunter's put in great results. Of course, career best seventh last weekend, matches it this weekend in Houston. Maybe more. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see him in the top five by the end of the year.
Yeah, I
If he
mean,
just
me
gets up
neither.
there, gets those starts, we know the Club MX bikes have been starting well. He's yanked a couple hole shots in the heat races. Maximus Voland, of course, led laps like we mentioned earlier in race 3. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see Hunter get his first top 5 later at the end of the year, and I think it was a great signing. And another guy that is under the radar, maybe under your radar a little bit. I know he was 11th this weekend, one spot out of the top 10, but I think Josh Farise, I think the Grindstone Kawasaki folks, I think that was a great move. I've always been a fan of seeing Josh just stay up there. He's a very nice guy, pretty well spoken dude, and he's always solid. He never jumps off the page, never really flashy, but he's always, it seems like, in that kind of 8 to 12 range on his best nights. Sometimes a little bit lower, but he usually seems like a reliable, steady, dependable guy. And it was honestly a big jump for him because he spent his entire career on steel frames, whether KTM, Husky, Gas. For him to go to Kawasaki, and I talked with him in Anaheim 1, and he's like, I feel like this is the change I need in my career because he got so used to the steel frame bike, and he's like being able to learn a new machine. And he's been solid. He was 10th last weekend in Anaheim too, 11th this weekend. I just wanted to give him a shout out because I feel like that was another signing, and it was a last minute deal because Dylan Walsh was like the leader of that team, but he ends up going back closer to home. He's from New Zealand originally, took a deal with KTM's Australia team, and then Varize kind of last second thing gets the deal, and he's been out there. Apart from San Diego when he went down early, he's been top 15 every race and solid.
Yeah, definitely a good move for the Grinding Stone guys. So I want to keep seeing, these smaller teams getting better results like that. So it's great because honestly, we don't have a lot of those opportunities in the 450 class. It's
Mhm.
20 factory bikes are pretty much whatever we got going on there. But in the 250 class, there's a lot more room to make some moves other than first place apparently. But and just around him too, in 10th, we got Carson Mumford, AEO KTM, number 71 out there. I'm always stoked for him. Such a good dude. We've done some stuff together back in the day with my brand MotoFin. He did some like little commercial stuff with me, and just a good dude, all around good guy. Glad to see him out there doing well. Still getting a top 10 even with a 15th place finish in the last moto. And then another guy, Anthony Bourdon. We got or Bourdon, right? It's the Partzilla. He's basically
Yeah.
a kind of a bit of almost a fill-in, right? He kind of jumped in last minute, but here for the season. But
Now
they
he's the Lone Ranger with Chambers, right?
now it's just him. So it's kind of unfortunate luck with the Partzilla team. They've kind of had a few injuries, and unfortunately got another one this weekend.
Cade, yeah.
Yeah, and
I
they
didn't see the crash, but
I
just
didn't.
him saying that he broke his collarbone in 3 places, it sounds
Ooh,
brutal. And I saw the aftermath. Like I saw the
I
bike on
didn't
the
know it was
side of the
three.
track, and I knew it was a Cowie, and I'm like,
I didn't even know.
I
I didn't
don't
even
know who
know.
that is, but I knew that I just saw a flagger or somebody pushing a Kawasaki away during the first race. I'm like, I don't know who that is, but if they're pushing a bike away, that's not good. And then a couple minutes later, I see Clayson out on the leaderboard. I'm like, oh man, he just makes a main event,
Yeah, it's the
first
first
one of
one.
the year, and then he goes down like that, man.
Yeah, I was bummed. I was definitely bummed because obviously we work closely with the parts of the team, and I was bummed to see that because they're all really good riders, but man, they got some bad luck right now. They're including on their even their other guys. Liam, one of their newer riders for the Arena Cross series. I think he broke a wrist. Hamden Hudson just got back on the bike this weekend at the Arena Cross series, kind of early, but still went out there and had some fun and got some good results. And those are like the up and coming riders for the pro series stuff. And then Jack Chambers, yes, unfortunately, just coming off injury and gets injured again. Really hate to see it. And then yeah, Cade Clayson this weekend. So now all we have left is Anthony and Mitchell Harrison. So a bummer. Still two solid riders. I mean, Berdon's been doing, I think, great for the team. He's right there to get top tens. He's right around the corner from that. And Mitchell Harrison, pretty solid main event guy. He makes it in. They had a little bit of luck this weekend
I
with,
know it's not the finishes he likes, but hey, he's been 4 for 4 so far,
yeah,
and with the talent level they have, I mean, it's impressive and a testament to him. He was 13 last year, so I want to see if he can do more this year. He just keeps getting better and better. He was
yeah,
automatically in the playoffs last year, and if you're out there, if you're riding, if you're racing, if you're like these guys, whether you're coming back on the shelf, make sure you get your parts, all your OEM part needs from partzilla.com. Go check them out, man. They are supporting us, supporting the PRMX team, supporting Partzilla Arena Cross. Go get you something off of Partzilla, man, if you need it for your bike, your machine, whether you like to ride for fun or ride at the races. There you go, man.
great,
Partzilla is the place to be.
great company, and they are very much interested in continuing to help the sport, from helping us to even getting more involved with the series and things like that. They're definitely involved and wanting to do more. So show them that we want them here by continuing to support them too, for sure. And then we also saw Dominic Thury, Team Solitaire. He got the win in the LCQ and was able to pull up 15th overall. So that's good for him. He's all yeah, great for that team. The Wageman, like you said, he ended up not making it as well because he usually does pretty solid for them. And they also had their 450 guy. He didn't make it.
Cole Thompson.
Yeah, Cole Thompson, that's who it was. So he
Yeah,
just
he's
missed it.
Thompson's in the AMA Arena Cross Series, so he's mostly over there. But he has run the last couple to as cameo appearances
Yeah,
here and there. I think he's going to show up during the series. But I actually talked to Thury a little bit on Sunday and interviewed for one of my pieces on my personal site, and he seemed like with the weekend, he's like, man, it's always stressful for Triple Crowns. He said Admittedly, he's not a hot lap guy, so for him, it's something he struggles at times. And I think he was only 3/10 of making the show, so he was 20th place, but he's literally 3/10, and that could be like a tiny bobble somewhere. Like if you mess up a little bit in a corner, if you clip a jump a little bit, that 3/10, that's where it could be from, especially on a fast track like Houston. And but for him to make the show was solid. Of course, last or the first couple rounds he struggled a little bit, but he's been 15th the last two, getting better. And I mean that's a familiar sight for him. He was on Team Solitaire a few years ago, now back with him. He said it was a little bit of a later deal, but he said between working with the team before and his familiarity with Yamaha, it was pretty easy to jump back aboard and get things settled. And I look for him to keep improving the rest of the year as well.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. And I think I kind of missed over Parker Ross too, and pretty solid performance for him.
Solid.
Yeah, really good.
Quiet, but man, he's solid.
Quiet but solid. That was a really, really good performance. And then shout out to our 19th place finisher, Aiden Shive, Partzilla Arena Cross rider. Got his feet wet, jumped on the West Coast Series, and he's making mains. So
Yeah,
really cool to
first
see.
Triple Crown this weekend too.
Yep.
So a kind of a full circle moment for him because Houston was his pro debut a few years ago. Like you mentioned with Hayden, that was Aiden Shive's first pro race
Oh,
as
okay.
well that night. So for him to get in his first Triple Crown at the building he started his pro career had to be a pretty cool feeling for him. And he's 3 for 4 so far. And you look through that list, like the 16th through 20th range, like all of those guys have been 3 for 4 main events. Jorgensen, Rod Bell, Crockett Myers, uh, with Aiden, Schlosser. I mean, all of those guys, like they've missed one, but they've been in all the others pretty much. So it's funny to see them kind of mixing it up every week. Like one guy will be better, and then the next week somebody else will be better of that group. But cool to see. And I'll shout out Keegan Rowley because it was his first career main event. Made it a little bit unconventionally because usually you don't take 5 from the LCQ, but with Schwartz withdrawing. Shout out to Keegan, first main event. And I know Slade Varola, you talked to him
Yeah,
on
Slade's one of my boys for
Friday
sure.
for
Yeah.
press day, and I'm like, man, there's the Trans World Motocross interview bump right there. Slade talks to Gavin on Friday, and he makes the main event on Saturday.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, I was stoked for Slade for sure. Bringing in the caboose there for us, but you know what? He's out there making it happen, and just to get in
He's
there
in
is a
there, though.
huge feat. So, congrats to him. I gotta shout out Slade because like his family, they're incredible people, and he's a smart kid. He never he like it's he never. I think I covered it in the interview a little bit. He'd never really fully committed to it. You know, I remember when he was racing Supercross a couple of years ago. He was still in school. He was doing school as well, and he was in working with the family business or things like that. Like they're a busy, tight family, and it costs money to do this. You know, these guys don't have that kind of support to get there. So it's their family really does a lot to make that happen for him, and he's willing to put in the work and to make try to get into these main events, and he did it this time, and I'm stoked for him. And I'm sure he wants to see himself do better, and everyone wants that. But again, for someone like that's not going career, that's doing it for the love of it, I think it's pretty impressive to see, and stoked for him. Again, I've known him for a long time. I've known him since he was little because he was one of Hayden's buddies back in the day. He used to come over all the time, so it's cool to see guys like that just still out there trying to make it happen. And I believe in him. He's like one of those kids that I'm like, man, if you actually like went all in, I could see him like doing really well. But it's tough. It's definitely it's tough out there. But shout out to him for making it in because that's pretty amazing. So good job to the 250s. Another exciting race, and Hayden Deegan on top with another 1-1-1 performance. Are we going to keep seeing that the rest of the year? I mean, I think so, honestly. So yeah, it's going to be pretty unlikely that. Again, it was really good to see the Cowie guys up there where they should be. So I want to see more of that. I don't know. When it comes to raw speed, Hayden just he's like a magnet. He just attaches to him and then gets him. It's really amazing how he can just kind of get himself there. In that way. So kind of the same with, I feel like Eli is similar in that manner, the way they kind of just get onto the back of you. But we'll jump into the 450s. We'll look at these results here. Again, you guys, please, motocross.com. Check out all our recap, the full recap, read everything. We're just kind of going over the results here. Cooper Webb, obviously. It's funny how this how the Triple Crowns work. You know, you don't get an overall moto win out of the 3 motos, but you can
Never count him
still
out.
get the overall. But yeah, so pretty impressive. Hunter Lawrence, again. Honestly, Cooper Webb, though, he looked really good. He looked like one of the best riders out there. Even though he didn't get
Yeah,
any moto wins, he
absolutely.
definitely had, he looked, he deserved it. Like, he straight up
It seemed like a
earned
switch
that.
flipped between San Diego and A2 because A1 San Diego that did not look like Cooper Webb. It looked like somebody was out there wearing Cooper Webb's clothes, quite honestly. And then in the last two, I mean, even though he went down at A2, it looked like Cooper Webb on track again, at least from my point of view watching TV. It's like, okay, that's Cooper Webb out there. And of course, he gets the win. He does what Cooper Webb does and just goes out there, performs when his back's against the wall, goes up there, gives the interview, gives a little chuckle, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm back in it." You know, you can't ever count him out, and I mean, yes, he's still 17 back, but he took 7 points out of the gap that he had to Eli, so he's moving forward, and you can never count the guy out. And we're moving to a very favorable stretch of races for him. He's won Seattle the last 2 years. He's won all kinds of races in Arlington, including the last 2 years. So it's Cooper Webb territory on the schedule right now. And I think some people are going to be really nervous, especially after he won the other night.
Definitely. And the confidence that you get as an athlete after a win, you know, can carry you pretty far as well. I mean, the amount of how much of this sport is mental and you know as well, and not only is it mental seeing them do the things they do, but how much of it is actually in your mind is kind of nuts.
And he's always been the most mentally strong guy there is on the gate.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter who he's fighting against for a championship. Tomac, Roxon, Sexton, it doesn't matter who he's up against. He's just that level of confidence, and it doesn't seem like he can really get rattled. It was weird last week seeing him down in the dumps, and he's like, maybe my title defense is gone. And then just like that, he wins again. It's like, well, he ain't done yet.
Yeah, he ain't done yet. No, he definitely ain't done yet. Again, it's too early to call these things, but we're starting to see some direction. But just things happen, man, just all over the place. I mean, we didn't even see Tomac on the podium for the overall, so that's not what he wants. But Hunter Lawrence, second place overall. Once again, it's kind of where he's at right now, and he wants to get out of that spot. But I mean, that's a good way to win the championship. Tell you that much. You know, just keep plugging in these results and let everyone else be inconsistent. And guess what? You're winning. So
As many times as he's finished second there the last couple of years, he's got to be absolutely
yeah,
sick of being
you
second.
could
He'd
you
probably
could
rather
see it.
finish third at this point.
You
He'd
could just
just
see it.
anywhere so many times, whether it was to Chase a couple years ago, Jet last year. I mean, it just every week it seems like the guy's always in second.
Yeah, no, he. We're gonna see something come out of that here soon. I think
Yeah.
so. Maybe this weekend. Ooh, no. Ken Roxon, after his first moto, I remember I was looking at I think the other guy that does the the photos for Suzuki. I think he was standing next to me, and Ken Roxon got his win. I looked at him, and I was like, "Ooh, this could be the night," because we were close, man. He's riding phenomenally. It's amazing to see him out there on that Suzuki, man. I'm excited for Kenny again. It's yeah, season of the dads, man. These guys are up here just crushing it. What do you
A
think?
lot better than his A2 performance, but I'm still after the way Hunter and Eli have been performing, and of course Cooper Webb's now in the win column. I'm nervous about Kenny's championship hopes. Like I said, he's got to win in the first few rounds. He's got to win before Glendale to really be in this championship fight. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to do that. I still think he's going to be able to get a win this year. He always gets a win, it seems like. I'm not really worried about that, but I just feel like with the level of talent in the field and knowing Kenny sometimes is a little bit up and down in some of these longer championships, I feel like he had to get a win early. And unfortunately, first 4 rounds, yes, he goes out there, gets 3 podiums, but when Eli's winning the first 2 races and Hunter's being so consistent, Chase has a win, Cooper has a win. I don't like his odds of being able to somehow find something and claw his way for the championship. I think he's going to be good all year, like I mentioned, but I just don't feel like he's going to be in the championship battle as much.
I kind of have to agree with you. I feel we're going to see some wins. Now, do I think it's a possibility we'll see him in the championship battle? Or maybe take it? Yes. But yeah, it's kind of Tomac and hopefully we're going to see Webb continue his trajectory right now in his performance and keep doing better. But Hunter Lawrence, Webb, Tomac, those guys are going to be really hard to beat. Chase Sexton, it's hard to say. I think he's could be the fastest guy out there, but he's fighting himself and he's got to learn his bike. I don't. Maybe he don't want to get him too ahead of himself, and I'm sure they got to dial that thing. And I'm sure there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we don't really see. But Tomac, man, I mean, is this the best version of himself we've ever seen? Like, it's pretty nuts to see him right now. I think he looks really good, and the
He's
way
performing very well.
the way he's moving through the field, the way he's moving people out of his way, the way he's just riding is just really good. And I think it could be his year. Um, we've already seen him almost do this once when we had that injury, and where that random injury on is it the recent one a couple years ago, is it Achilles or whatever.
Yeah.
That was a scary thing to see, but he was looking really good then too, kind of that same momentum. And I kind of feel like we're seeing that Tomac again, that momentum. I mean, at this pace, he's gonna be racing for the next 5 years at least, but we'll see. But apparently he's loving the bike. He feels great on it. I was listening to might have been Pope or someone else. They were talking about how he was loving the bike, said it's perfect. It's up to me now or something like that. And they're like, and the team said they haven't heard that in decades or something, like for him to be like, no, it's perfect. It's up to me. Like to have that kind of attitude and say those kind of things, and him wanting to do things like, I just heard my baby scream, but I think he's fine. Sorry if you guys hear that, but,
Caden trying to make an appearance on this
yeah.
episode of TWMX.
Caden's trying to come downstairs and hang out with daddy, but no, I think I think there was another story I heard too about him like wanting to go test and like, I don't know, just a lot of things. It sounds like he's having a really good time and feeling really good on the bike, and it shows. I mean, he looks amazing out there. But Moto 2, we had a pretty big crash, and I saw the replay. It was the same rhythm, right at the end of the rhythm before the finish. Was that where it was?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't remember it. Like you said, there was so much happening that it kind of blurs together.
Yeah,
so
it blurs together. It almost looked like Forkner's
rhythm lane
crash
it was, but I know it was on one of the outside lanes by the crowd wall, and he just starts pitching over, and it's like, oh dear. But I think you bring up a good point. I'm not ready to say that Tomac is at his best ever, but definitely a confident, happy Tomac is very scary for the rest of the field.
Yeah.
I mean, look how he did when he first switched to the Yamaha. He goes out 2022 is the best season of his career, his first year on a Yamaha, because he won the Supercross title. He won the motocross title. He won Motocross of Nations. It's his first year on a KTM. He's leading Supercross points. What can he accomplish? But if you get that guy happy, confident, healthy, I mean, he's hard to stop. And like you said, he might just keep racing. He might just turn into Chad Reed and just keep going keep going and keep going, man. Maybe Eli races until he's 40. Who knows at this rate?
But I feel like his quote back a few years ago was, "If I'm winning, I'm racing," or something like that. So maybe if he stops winning, maybe we'll see him maybe consider it. But it doesn't seem like that's happening anytime soon. So
if ET3 goes out and gets title number 3 this year, he's going to be around a while. I mean,
yeah, I'm definitely excited to see that. And let's I can't remember if there's one more thing I wanted to say about Eli. Oh yeah, there is. He actually has a pretty interesting, what do you want to call it, aura around him, because every time, as far as camera guys go, like when we try to get like our interviews with him and stuff, everyone's always very intimidated by him, including myself. Like I'm like nervous to get interviews with him because he just like don't want to mess up. He's so like, when he talks to you, it's like, and now I don't feel as bad because I learned this weekend everyone was struggling with him. Tom Durnett came by and he with Racer X and all that. He's like, we were dying. Everyone in the photo den was laughing our asses off because Tom was showing us his interview he did with Eli, and he was trying to be like comfortable with him, and he got totally uncomfortable, and they were just It was just funny. The whole you can watch it. I think the interview's on online, but like it's just like an awkward interview, and we were just busting up laughing. And then another media guy came, I think 23 Media or something. He came in, he was saying the same thing. Man, I butchered my interview with him, and at least then I was like, well, I don't feel as bad now because I've been nervous. Wasn't able to get to him this time because just there's a huge line. But if you don't know, when we get on our press days, we only get like a 30-minute window to talk to the riders, and it's a free for all. And we respect each other, and we get in line and talk to each other. Say, hey, are you in line? Okay, I'm in. Okay, I'm gonna go. It's respectable, but it's 30 minutes, and half the time those riders don't even show up till 15 minutes in. Some of the guys, which I think should be a little bit more enforced if that's the only window that they're actually obligated to talk to us, to the media. Otherwise,
I agree.
during race day and things like that, we're technically not supposed to engage with them unless it's like we can. We're not really supposed to bother them, but they have obligations to talk to us, and it's only then. And it's also like for the little podium scrub thing that they do at the end, which they're doing something new this year, which is also very tough. And so it's really tough to get a hold of these guys. Like I thought it was a miracle a few years ago when I got Eli to hold my camera and vlog and walk around and talk like he's vlogging, and everyone was like, "I can't believe you got him to do that." I was like, "You did it," but I haven't done it since. So. But yeah, he's definitely has this intimidating factor to him when it comes to interviewing him. But I will say I don't feel as bad now because I thought it was just me. There's definitely not just me. So I learned that this weekend. So maybe you can expect to see me try to get some more interviews with him after this. But yeah, shout out Eli Tomac. Let's see. And also one thing about him that I think is kind of funny is we can't tag him on social media. No one can. It's his privacy issues on his account. That's actually one of the questions I want to ask him. So why can't we tag you on Instagram, Eli? Like, what's your decision there? I wonder if he even knows. But anyway, that's just funny. Chase Sexton. Yeah, I mean, all right.
I think it was a bit disappointing for
Yeah.
him,
Yeah,
honestly. I mean, to
definitely.
go out, I would have not had him in fifth place. I would have
Yeah.
had him. I actually had him winning,
Podium.
I
Winning
believe.
our podium.
Yeah, I definitely had him on my podium, but I
Yeah.
had him winning and just a little bit off. I mean, he had a couple incidents like the last main event where he flinched off the line and started in the back, but I don't know. Chase is an enigma, like I say. Sometimes he's right up there, sometimes it's a little bit off, but I wouldn't surprise me to see him go out and win this weekend. He can win any given weekend. He's got the speed, he's got
Yeah.
the talent. Just a little bit of a down weekend in Houston. Maybe he can rebound, put Kawasaki back on top this weekend in Glendale.
That's really it. He can win at any given weekend. That's like a true statement for Chase. And it almost seems like on any bike. It seems like
Yeah,
he can do it. Like that's why he's there. He brought the win to Kawasaki that they haven't had in a while. Put Chase on a bike, he could win. Will he always win? Win all of them? Doesn't seem like it. I would say no. But he's not out. We still have a long year ahead of us, and we've seen him come from last to first. So I would not be surprised if we see something like that again with him. Um, Jason Anderson, I think he's been riding awesome. I think he's
yeah.
rebounded stronger than I really anticipated he would this year. I think he's riding way better than I thought he was going to ride. So
He's been the best of the rest, and I know that's kind of sounds like an insult or comes off like that, but you have those like top five guys who've been kind of flip flopped around every week, and then Jason really has seemed like he's separated himself from like the Cooper, Hampshire, Stewart range, and is almost intermixed sometimes with those Sexton, Tomac, Webb level guys. He seems like he's somewhere in the middle of them. Like he's not quite championship contender, but he's better than those guys who are just scratching and clawing for top tens. And he's he's impressed me as well. Of course, he had a good season in World Supercross, and I know it was only sixth place this weekend, but he's up there. He looks comfy on the Suzuki, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see him on the podium very soon.
I'm sure you guys can hear my kid because I can literally see my audio levels jumping when my kid's crying in the background. So you could just ignore that. Yeah, it's family life. I don't care if you guys hear him or not. Honestly, I'm a dad, so you guys are gonna deal with it. but dad life, man. Trust me, it's already hard enough for me to leave every weekend. It's especially with the last couple weeks, but it's been tough enough. And yeah. So anyway, Shout out Caden up there crying. But Jason Anderson, yeah, I mean, solid performance. You got to think Suzuki's taking note of their bikes up there performing. I wonder if we'll ever see anything. I feel like I heard something being said, but I wonder if we'll see something one of these years soon with them doing more development, or if they won't. I mean, the only Kickstarter out there, you know. I think I saw Colt Nichols
And
out
just
there at
keep
one
running
point.
the 2018 spec model for the rest of the time. Like I'll have grandkids and they're still out there on the 2018 thing, and it'll be like 2050 something.
It'd be
But hey, if
hilarious.
it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know.
I would love nothing more than to see like Kenny out there and win a championship on that bike. That would be the funniest and coolest thing ever. And I think that'd be hilarious. But uh, yeah, so Jason Anderson, great ride. Jorge Prado, yeah, I think he's riding great. I mean, the guy obviously struggled last year, and this is all new to him. I mean, I think he's riding phenomenal for where his position is. I mean, everybody, all of these guys want to do better, no matter where they're at, unless they're winning. You know, I mean, they're all gonna. Even the winner probably wanted to do better. Cooper Webb, 4.23. I'm sure he was like, well, I wish I would have won one of those. You know, but I mean, he still took it, and maybe that doesn't bother him. But still, these guys are always critiquing themselves, always want to be better than the rest and be the best. And it is tough because look at this field. I mean, look at these names on here. It's just nuts. It is absolutely nuts. And some of these guys you would think that would not be riding this good still, and they're just crazy. Malcolm Stewart had a brutal one this A1, and he's out there performing like nothing happened. So it's impressive to see. Again, I'm sure he also would want better results, but Jorge, I think he did great. I think we could still expect more out of him. And I do think we could see some more top threes from him and maybe even more. He does good starts. I kind of was actually thinking the Triple Crown might be a really good thing for him to just give him 3 chances like
Yeah.
that. And, it kind of did. But I didn't see what happened in the last moto. Do you know what happened there? Why he's in 11th? They're just bad start
He just
battles?
got a bad start that
Yeah.
time. I think he just, for whatever reason, got 2 out of the 3 and was up there. And I'm sure some people were a little upset with the cross jumping. It seemed like he was going a little sideways to try to defend some positions, but
Really?
I think Jorge definitely has the potential to be on the podium some more. But like you said, very start dependent with him because he's still adapting to Supercross and figuring out the racecraft and all
So
that.
wait, the cross jumping thing. I think I heard something about that. Again, it's not something I saw because I don't maybe the TV or something. But I feel like I heard
Yes,
a
it
buzz
was
about that.
on
Was
the
that a thing?
broadcast a little bit, but it seemed like, and I don't remember which battle it was, but it seemed like Jorge, like once he knew somebody was behind him, he would start drifting a little bit over farther to protect his lane and to protect his line a little bit. And it's something you don't see very often, so it was a very interesting display, and I'm sure that some of the people who have raced Supercross for a long time and don't tend to do that were pretty upset, especially, yes, it's a new guy, but I mean, if I'm coming on the outside of the lane and all of a sudden I just see a guy just steadily drift closer and closer toward me, I'd be pretty upset too. So not sure. I mean, I don't think there will be any ramifications from it, but I'm sure people were definitely a little more aware now that he was a little bit weaving in some of the lane. I wouldn't say weaving necessarily because that makes it sound like he's doing this, just going all over the
Yeah.
place to try to take somebody out. But he
The
was
drifting.
definitely, yes, he was definitely drifting a little bit. Once he realized somebody was there, it's like, all right, let me go over closer toward their line a little bit.
That's
But
interesting.
7th place, not too bad. He'll be better, I'm sure.
Yeah, we kind of touched on Malcolm already, but Justin Cooper, man, not getting the starts he needs and he wants that he really depends on to get his results. Um, I would like to see more, and I think we will see more out of him because like I said, if you put him on a graph, I've always kind of felt like he's always been the guy that's just steadily getting a little bit better and better and better and better. Not like huge, but like just kind of slowly getting better and better. Kind of right now, I kind of feel like we're almost plateauing out a little bit and nothing's really happening yet. So we're all kind of waiting to see that. We want to see, and again, kind of a start dependent guy. I think that's what we're going to wait to see is get a good start. So hopefully he can get those dialed in so we can see him battle. Fast guy though, and skimming the whips more these days. It seems like so. Good on him. I think he's definitely again progressing in the right direction. We just want to see a little bit more. Dylan Ferrandis, Ducati. I mean, I'd be stoked if I was Ducati. Be happy, that their bikes are looking good. That he's riding good. But are we really seeing much of a difference between Dylan Ferrandis Ducati, between Dylan Ferrandis Phoenix Honda? Kind of seems like he's right in the same spot. Maybe a little better. Want to see more out of that as well. But I don't expect too much craziness. But I know for Ducati, I think it's still pretty good on them. I feel like they'd still be pretty happy out there that their bikes are performing well, and they're looking. I mean, I think their bikes looks great, especially the TLD kit on them. Those things look good. It kind of makes me want one.
TLD always looks good on anything, man.
Yeah,
Seems like it at least.
kind of a quiet weekend for Hampshire. I feel like he kind of went unnoticed. I mean, I didn't see too much other than him just where he was cruising around.
He's been pretty quiet this year. I don't feel like it's the start he's necessarily wanted. And Justin Cooper, the same way, I feel like has been a little bit disappointing. But I mean, with so much talent in the field, somebody's going to have to take a step back while other guys step forward. And I feel like those are two guys that maybe you would have thought would have done better. I thought Justin Cooper for sure would be contending for more podiums and maybe even steal a win at some point in the year. But hopefully the two of them will get better. And of course, RJ's still learning. It's still his
Yeah,
450 rookie season in
true,
Supercross.
yeah.
So he's got a lot of learning to do. And
So
I mean,
really, he's doing
so
pretty
many
good.
best guys.
Really,
Yeah,
he's like,
there's so many guys up there that have so much experience in the class and just are faster on paper, I would say, than RJ. So if he can log the laps, keep putting things together, he should be a little bit better at every step of the way.
yeah, definitely. Christian Craig, I'm impressed by Christian Craig, honestly. Like, it looks like the first one, I did not see what happened in the first one that caused him to get 19th, but I did see on the last two motos, those two eighth place finishes. I noticed that he was up there in the battle like that. I was like, oh, Craig, man, he's looking good. And I've seen him, I worked with him too, doing his YouTube the last couple of years ago or whatever. So I know him decent. And I know I've seen him not happy on the bike, and I've seen him happy, and I know he believes in himself and he can do well, and I feel like he's doing that. I think he's doing great. I think he should be proud. And again, I'm sure these guys all want to do better and want more for themselves, and I'm sure they're all tough on themselves. I know he's tough on himself too, but I think he should be proud that I think he's riding great, and he's riding great for that team. He looks really good on that bike, very comfortable on a Honda, so he kind of feels more at home on that quad lock. Excited to see more out of him as well. And then Aaron Plessinger, our boy, my boy AP. Oh man, he's doing decent. I think, man, I want to see him just get more aggressive. He's a nice guy. Maybe he's too nice. I don't know. maybe I don't know. It's hard to say. I know he's kind of had an uphill battle too. From sickness to even being sick in these first couple of rounds to having a big crash last weekend. Yeah. Like, we're lucky he's okay and he's still out there doing it. So he seems like he's feeling okay. He's not too sore. I'm sure there's a lot of. I feel like even though we're close, like when I ask him things, I know he's selective of what he says because all these guys will probably tell you that they're good even if they're fighting something or maybe not feeling the best. I don't think AP is really 100% right now, but I think we can get there, and I think he just needs to keep listening to himself. He is smart at listening to himself and listening to his body. And I think let's keep him healthy. Let's get through the whole season and just, keep working at it and chipping away at it. And I think he'll get back up there. He's definitely a contender. I mean, he's a winner too, but this year has been a little bit of a rough start for him. But I think we're going to see, I think we will see better things out of him. So stay tuned for his YouTube video tomorrow. I've been working on that one today, do all his YouTube stuff. So keep an eye out for that. And then maybe when I hop off here, me and him might hop on Arc Raiders. He plays the same game that I like, and I see he posted something today on. I was just texting him. He was like gonna go live on his YouTube, and it said something Arc Raiders with the boys, and I was like, you going live? But it was like 15 minutes ago, and like nothing happened. It was like in limbo, and he's like, I got nervous and I exited it. He thought he was going live on something on accident or something. I don't know. Kind of funny. But yeah, I like AP. He's such a good dude. They're great. He loves it. He loves being there. Him like signing autographs. That's like he tells me I would sign autographs all day if I could. He just is that genuine of a guy that loves to do it. Most of these guys just want to get in and out of that as quick as they can. The AP, you can't keep him away from the fans. So it's everybody loves him. The crowd goes nuts for him every time. So shout out AP. Everybody loves that guy. Good times for him. But definitely want to see uh, some more out of that. And then, what do you think of Savachi? Watching that, I didn't really notice too much of him other than him going by, and I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a horrible. I think he did pretty decent.
Went down first moto, apparently broken toe for Joey,
Oh,
so that
really?
really put it in his
Okay,
weekend.
I
Yes,
didn't know that. Okay.
unfortunately. I didn't see the crash; it wasn't on the broadcast. But first moto went down, and that really hampered his weekend. It sucks because he had a fifth place and a sixth place the last couple rounds.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, man, this guy's performing really, really well, and
Quad Lock's been on
unfortunate,
fire.
but hopefully he gets healed up. I mean, he's going to go out there and give it his best shot these next few weeks. But hopefully he can stay upright and stay healthy the rest of the way, and get better and start building toward the end of the season, because it seemed like the end of the year last year as well, toward the end of the Supercross season, he was really up there in that top 5 range and contending. But unfortunate, but I mean, he still logged laps, and at the end of the night, if you injure yourself and you're still top 15, I don't think that's too bad.
No, no, 100%. And yeah, like you said, I forgot he did do really well in those other rounds. So yeah, they're doing good. Quad Lock's got a pretty good lineup right now. These guys
Yeah.
are performing really well for them. So good bikes, good team. Seems like they have a good thing going there. So excited to see more of that. Man, in this sport too, broken bones. Only in our sport, these guys are breaking bones and still going up and doing stuff and lining up and trying to make things happen. Like you see that if a football player or someone broke a toe or did something, they'd be out. They'd be done. Like they get
Put
cart.
them on IR, they're done.
It's crazy. So our sport's gnarly. Garrett Marchbanks, kind of a quiet weekend for him. He's new on the 450 as well, so kind of hard to set too much expectations there. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I feel like it's still been a little bit disappointing for him. Of course, Anaheim
Yeah.
1 misses the main event, misses San
Oh,
Diego
that's
due to a
right. Yeah.
practice crash. But
Oh my God. Yeah.
I think if he just got to start building little by little. If you can move up a position at a time each weekend, just steadily climb, make progress, log laps.
How do you
At
do it
this
A2?
point, I think that's the best thing for him.
How do you do it A2?
He was the same range. I think he was 15th, 14th, somewhere around there. I don't remember for sure, but he's in that like 14 to 16 group. It seems like every week. 18th in qualifying, just snuck in. Great battle with him and Justin Hill on race day live there for the last spot. But hopefully we can see more. And like I said, just if he keeps logging laps, I think he'll be improving a little bit at a time as well.
Yeah, I saw Colton Nichols, another Suzuki rider. Still cool to see him out there throwing down. I think on his second moto, I think he stalled it or something. Maybe went down, but I remember seeing him stuck there trying to kickstart the bike. So I guess the only downside about the Suzuki, which
Yeah.
I still think it's cool, like the kickstart. I think it's a cool part of dirt bikes, honestly. But he was out there. I never seen him trying to kickstart the bike. So yeah, I guess that's part of it. If that's the only kickstart bike out there and everyone else is on electric starts, so I guess that's a disadvantage for him in that situation. Justin Hill, again, I heard recently he also had some sort of injury, or he's just not. He hurt himself, I think, before,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, he's been racing the first few rounds. I believe some rib pain. I think he tore some cartilage in his ribs, something like that.
Hmm.
Don't remember the exact diagnosis, but it's funny how even with the injury, I mean, you look at how talented the class is. Last year at the Arlington Triple Crown, Justin Hill was the fastest qualifier. This year at the Houston Triple Crown, Justin Hill's winning the LCQ. So if that doesn't tell you the level of talent and speed in
For
the
real.
field, I don't know what will.
Yeah, for real. No, that's great point right there. And then Shane McElrath, another quad lock Honda rider. Not the best weekend for him. I don't think he's really had the greatest start to the season yet. Nice guy. I definitely want to see him do better. But like you just pointed out, I mean, just look at all these names in front of him. It's pretty nuts. I don't even know. Like I look at this whole next group of 250 riders coming up. We have two gates of them, east and west. Where are these guys going to fit in on this list once they're on the 450s? How many of these guys are still going to be here? It seems like they're not going anywhere. They're still here. So like that's what you got to really kind of think about it like that. Vince Friese kept quiet this weekend, kept off the radar. It looks like with no
he was
fight
on his
nights.
best behavior. Good job, Vince.
Best behavior. And then along with that, Mitchell Harrison, our Pertzilla guy right there, made it to the main. Yep. No, kept away from the freeze, so good for him. Kept it clean this weekend. Tristan Lane and Cade Clay. Did Tristan Lane? I think that was another DNFs and stuff, right? I didn't.
No DNS for
No
Tristan.
DNFs.
Just
Okay.
I mean, first main event of the year, and I talked to him today. Did an interview with him,
Oh,
and
okay.
I know the other
My
night
bad.
he said that he was like, for him to even make the main event is a plus with the level of the field that it is right now. But he said with some of the bigger lines, he's like, I could try to hit the A lines that the top guys, the factory guys are doing in triples and quads, but he's like, there was a point where I'm just like, I got to hit the lines and be safe out here. Like, I got to just go through. I'm going to take the safe lines, make it out of here in one piece. He's like, because we can't earn any money when we're out on the sidelines when we're injured. So he was playing it safe, but still, for him to get in the main event is a plus. Tristan's a great dude, and to see him back, he's on a Yamaha this year, KTM most of his career as a privateer. So switched up the bikes. He said he feels better in the whoops this year. That's something he's worked at a lot. He said the blue bike he thinks is a little bit better and more stable in the whoops. But poor Cade, man, in 22nd, the broken collarbone
3
stinks because,
places.
like I said, I mean, first main of the year, he gets in there. It's like, yeah, he's finally turned a corner, and then his first moto of the night, and he crashes. Unfortunate, man.
Do we know how the crash happened or no? I never got a chance to talk to
I've
him.
not seen the crash. I'm
Yeah,
not
me
sure.
neither. Yeah, I didn't. I just remember. I remember the LCQ, Mitchell and him both making it in, and then I was excited. I was like, "Yeah, the boys made it in." And then I seen that it was just DNF on there, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
he's like, I didn't see.
Yeah,
I
that's what
didn't
I
see him
said.
come around the corner, and I was like,
On the broadcast, I saw them pushing a bike away. I knew it was a Cowie, and then a couple of
first lap,
minutes
right?
later, I saw placing out.
On
I
the.
don't think it was first lap,
Oh,
but it was the
okay.
first race,
Okay.
so it was early on in the night. And unfortunate, man.
Yeah, that's a bummer. And then kind of like what we've been saying this entire time is this little note you put here. Hunter Lawrence cuts Eli Tomac's point lead in half. This is
Yeah,
exactly what we're talking about when it comes to Hunter being the silent killer and just kind of quietly working his way through this pack right now in second place like that. Like he
Mike
just
Munch,
cut a
8
points
to
lead in
4. That
half.
could be critical.
Yeah, a points lead in
Yeah,
half that's big work. So very successful weekend actually for him and
I mean,
HRC Honda.
imagine if he doesn't go down that first moto and gets that overall win. He would have only been 1 point behind if that happens. So I mean, he still cuts it in half, but you think kind of hypothetical what ifs, like he would have only been 1 point behind if he was able to win somehow. But regardless, he's right there.
Yeah, these triple crowns really make the what ifs an interesting thing because if that was
Yeah,
a one main event and you went down, you just threw away your whole weekend. But now you had a
exactly. Yeah,
chance to make it up. So that's kind of how it happened for everyone, and that's how it ended. Like I said, we got the guy that didn't win take the win. So
Webb.
it's kind of funny how that works. Yeah, and then Hayden's point lead ballooned. He's really
It did.
yeah, he
He
definitely
went from -7 to +1 to +9 to +19. I mean, it's just
that's
growing and
fast.
growing, man. It just keeps getting larger.
Look at that. Eli is only 4 points ahead, huh? Of Hunter right now. That's
Yep.
Ken Roxon though, right there. We don't know.
Cooper Webb -17. Don't count him out.
Yeah, not too far. He cut some out today, or this weekend. So good for him. All right, we're gonna jump into one more thing before we end it here. I thought this would be like a 30-minute stream because I was feeling that crap. Apparently this tea is really helping me because
One of our longest.
I know this ended up being like actually a longer one because we were just going through it. A little different today, talking about all the riders as much as we can. Again, Partzilla Arena Cross just wrapped up. Partzilla Arena Cross presented by Trenzo Motocross just wrapped up this weekend in South Carolina, Florence Center. And it was a crazy weekend. Well, they were supposed to have a makeup round on Sunday, which unfortunately got canceled because of the weather. Nothing you can really do about it. I mean, they got pounded down there by the snow. So that was a bummer. But still, the riders showed up, and they had some good racing. But it was Gage Linville who took the top and in the 250 Pro and Open Pro class. And he took the championship. And very exciting for him. Again, we're going to see him very soon line up for Supercross. And I am actually really excited to see what this momentum does for him and this confidence. I want to see what I'm very, very curious because this is really one of the biggest things that when we first put the series together, we were talking about is, hey, we're going to line it up and it's going to end right before the East Coast series, and these guys are going to go from there to there. Some of the guys left early for the West Coast, but most of these guys hung around. So, shout out Gage Linville. Great job. Stoked to see him up there winning. Luke Neese, I think, took home the wins that weekend as well, the moto wins. Luke kind of had a rough start, and he was the championship holder from last year, the defending champ, and unfortunately didn't get it this year. He had a pretty bad luck in the first few rounds. I went to most of the rounds at the beginning, and I felt bad for him because I just kept seeing him getting taken out by accidents or just random things was happening to him that were really out of his control. And
First turn crashes.
if it wasn't for that, I feel like maybe he could have had a chance to defend that title. But he did have a really rough start. But he's a great rider. He did a good job. Looks like you wrote about that right here. You guys got to check out the articles on here, please. That Trey wrote up kind of recaps a bit of this. Thank you, Trey, for doing that. Some good photos from our buddy Mike Pfizer, good photographer. It's a great event though. The Parts of the series, hopefully.
Lost sound. I'm getting in a note through the door. I think that's what it says. It says lost something.
Lost
Looks like
sound. I hear you and I see you.
What?
I could test real quick. We're almost done with the show, but let me make sure we're hearing Trey over here again because we've had some issues with this already. Again, you guys are gonna see
wonderful broadcast.
You guys will see.
Thanks,
Eventually, we will get the. We might change it up. Let me see.
Hello, testing. Folks at home, drop in chat if you can hear me. If you can't hear me, also drop it in chat.
Yeah, 1 sec. I'm testing. I hear you. I hear you. You're good. Parents are lying. They're trying to set us up. Just kidding. No,
I don't know, man.
No, we've had issues, so you got to.
We definitely have had issues.
We might be changing.
Starting to work against this.
We might do a different show for next week. It might still be pretty much just like this interactive background and all that. It might just not have a chat box, which you guys aren't even chatting on today anyway, which usually we get you guys in there. So I think we might upload the videos. I think if we upload the videos just as a upload, still the same format, interactive background, same talking points kind of the thing, but maybe we can fine tune it a little better and get our guests on here without crashing the system every time. So, because I really want to do that again, because we could easily get guests on here like every show, but I don't do it because it crashes our show right now. So that's not good. So we're gonna make that change. I would say we're probably gonna be on the lookout for that next weekend. I wanted to do it today, but I've been sick, so I'm just like a day behind on everything. I'm just kind of struggling with that. But again, here's our final standings for our top 10. Gage Linville, followed by Luke Neese, Jace Kessler, Landon Gibson. Again, he came to the SMX next this weekend, but had a crash, so that was unfortunate. Hamden Hudson, who was out for a little bit of an injury, but did come back on this last round. Liam Olaf, another PRMX rider, Partzilla rider, who's out with an injury right now. Aiden Shive, again, we see him now on the West Coast. Then we have a few more: Dan Morales, Addison Emery, and Kyle Bitterman. So great job to all those guys on the series. It was a lot of fun. I hope we can do it again. I guess it's this year because it's the end of the year and it goes into next year. It's usually how it goes. But congratulations to those guys. Oh yeah, we got a lot of actual top 10s here, huh? I forgot.
Yes, I forgot everybody.
You got everybody here. Yeah, we got
85 kids a shout out, the 65 kids, the Schoolboy 2 kids. Everybody gets a shout out, man.
Yeah, and all in the classes, all these classes you're seeing right here are all the ones that get broadcasted too on Fox Sports. Yeah. So the races will be broadcasted continuously, probably for the next month or so, on FS1 and FS2. You'll see, I believe it comes up as TriStar Arena Cross.
Yes.
Which is because
definitely, I know on my YouTube TV it records as TriStar Arena Cross.
Yes, because that's the series owner's business, and just kind of like NASCAR and the other events that they show on those channels, they don't show the sponsor name in the title. It's just not part of that. It's not how the TV program works. So if you look it up, it's under TriStar Arena Cross. But you can find it there and watch replays and watch these races, and you can support the series, and you can see the 65 riders on TV, the 85 riders on TV. It's really great for these kids to get that exposure and practice, really, for the big show when they're older. I mean, they're doing TV interviews and all kinds of media and stuff. So it's a lot of fun. That's what these series is all about. That's what Arena Cross is all about. I think, it was a big learning experience for us this year. It's all new, and we did a lot, and I think it was successful. I think we did what we needed to do. Ups and downs. You sure we could have had the seats filled a little bit more, but it's a new series. It's hard to get that word out there. We're not going to fill up the state like the arenas like one that's been running for many years will. So and we're in newer areas, the East Coast, which doesn't have as much of that going on like the West Coast really does. So we're trying to grow that. We're trying to do that out here. So hopefully, we have that involvement again at the end of this year. We'll be talking to Bobby again, I'm sure, and seeing what we can do. Regardless, I'm sure we'll be involved in some way or another. And it was a lot of fun. So big shout out, Parts of the Arena Cross Series. These guys it was a lot of fun. Please check them out. And check out our website, motocross.com. We can get all your information, all your stories. We'll be doing more and more. This is a big growing year for us, and we're doing a lot. I have a lot of conversations going right now. Contributors, I got people messaging me. We'll be doing some things here soon, so stay tuned for those things. All right, I think that is it for tonight, guys. Thank you for joining us. Trey, where can we find you? What do you got coming out?
Lots of stuff. Today was very busy for me. I did 2 interviews, did a ton of editing, this live show, recorded my podcast. I've been going all day. I've been talking a lot. I've been hearing my own voice a lot. It's a wonder I'm not sick of it yet. But find me on Instagram at TJStire3, TJSTIRE, and the number 3. I should have my Unsung Heroes podcast and article, or at least the 250 article, out tomorrow. I should also have my traditional podcast, episode 27 of the Steyr Sound, tomorrow. Steyr Sound, of course, will be wrapping up Houston Supercross. Jack was at Houston, my co-host, so he got to see a little bit more than I was able to see and take in the
Oh,
race.
he's the
But
DB Dirtbag Depot guy, right?
yeah,
Okay, so I was talking to him a little bit. He walked up to me. We were talking trackside, and I didn't realize that was him. That's who you use on your co-show is him.
yep.
So
Jack Noel's my co-host.
So he came and talked to me for a little bit too, and he's even offered to help contribute and stuff like that too, or banter with us and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
we'll see where
great
those things
dude,
go.
and hopefully, like I said, Unsung Heroes, I got a couple interviews dropping as a part of that tomorrow. I'll try to spotlight the privateer riders because they deserve love, man. If they're putting it in the main event, I think they deserve some love. And like I said, just follow me. I appreciate the support for all of you who tuned in. Whether we've had audio issues or not tonight, it's been a long show. It's been a fun show. Thanks for tuning in. Help us keep growing the brand. Motocross.com, TWMX, DOTCOM on Instagram. Don't forget Partzilla as well. Your number 1 place for parts.
That's right. Best for Parts, Partzilla. Thank you guys. Thank you, Partzilla, for coming on board, being a big part of this with us this year. And, hopefully, keep everything going and just really keep growing together. And that's our goal. And if you guys want to find me on Instagram, Gavin Ayala, GavenAyala. And yes, TWMX.com, DOTCOM for the Trans World Instagram, and motocross.com for all your stories. And yes, please support Trey. He's a big part of this. He's a big helper for us, and I want him to benefit from it too. And you guys should definitely support him and do what he does because he's awesome. So we appreciate you, Trey. Definitely big time here.
Thank you.
But thank you guys for joining us tonight. And maybe, like I said, stay tuned next week. I think we might try a little bit of a different format if everything goes smooth. But the live shows, we are a lot of fun, and I want to do more of them. And maybe if we can just keep growing our audience here, we can eventually start doing a lot more than just one thing. We do a upload, we do maybe 2 uploads, then we do a live show, a pre-race show, whatever. Like something I want to get way more and more evolved and do more, but we got to start somewhere. So this is what we're starting with. And keep in mind, I don't think anyone else is actually doing it this way. I think we are the only show that tries to do a live stream with an interactive background and trying to do things like that. I think most shows are just kind of pre-recorded and, talking things and more static, more like still stuff. I like more interactive things. So I don't know. I think you'll still see that kind of a similar format, even if we do pre-recorded. I think it'll still look and feel like this. Just won't be live. Maybe we'll premiere it so we can still interact with you guys in the comments and stuff like that in the live chat. So another good way to do it. But yes, thank you guys. And we will see you next week after Phoenix, Glendale. It's going to be a good one. All right. Peace. Have a good night. Oh, once I can, get the buttons located and actually exit the stream, we'll be good. Of course, this little